It is running the wrong way. So I think Federal Hall was this building back here. Hold on, where is it? Is it? No, it's not that one. Is it? Is it that one? It might be. What's this one? The balcony of Federal Hall. No, it must be this one. This must be Federal Hall. Were we here earlier in the game? I don't remember. Alright, well, we'll probably find out more about it. Animus database, location, New York. Smith and Company Brewery. This brewery was built in 1752 by Jonas Smith and his sons Elias. By 1775 it was the largest brewery in New York. Smith was nominally loyalist, but that didn't stop him from providing beer to Washington's army when it was stationed in the town, or to the British regulars after their arrival. It seemed neither army cared about loyalties where beer was concerned. Smith and Company Brewery. Is it really that important? And I don't actually know where it is. Smith and Company Brewery? Smith and Company Brewery? John Smith's Brewery? English Brew North Yorkshire? Nope. John Smith's? Nope. 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 Smith and Company Brewery in New York. Nope. Alright, so well, I don't think we're gonna find a Wikipedia article for that. I don't know where it is. So there's the burned part of the city, and then there's Wall Street, where we are now. Where's the industrial part? Because the brewery would be in the industrial part, right? Maybe? Let me just run around a bit. I know it's a bit of a waste of time, but let me run around a little bit, see if I can get a handle on the layout of the city. Is it a guard dog? Why? Why are they attacking me? I don't even know what's going on with this game. I don't see a brewery. Alright, never mind. Let's not bother with that. Animus database, locations, New York, St. Paul's Chapel. This chapel opened in 1766 as an extension of Trinity Church, which was slightly further down Broadway. Unlike Trinity Church, St. Paul's was saved from the Great Fire by a local bucket brigade. The original building still stands today, making it one of the oldest churches in Manhattan. During the Revolution, St. Paul's was known for loyalist leanings. Its Episcopalian, which is a subset of Anglican, which you'll remember is the Church of England. You can probably guess whose side they were on. Church services specifically prayed for the king and royal family, which you can imagine wasn't too popular with the revolutionaries who were occupying the town in 1776. After the war ended, there was a turnaround in the church's politics. The rector and some of the more loyalist congregants left New York and it became more patriot-friendly. George Washington attended a service here on his inauguration day and kept attending while he lived in New York, which probably went a long way towards repairing the church's reputation among the patriot population. Alright. St. Paul's Chapel, New York. There it is. Hey look, it looks exactly like how it is in the game. And it's just there. I wonder if I can find it. St. Paul's Chapel is an Episcopal chapel located at 209 Broadway between Fulton and Vesey Streets in Lower Manhattan in New York City. It is the oldest surviving church building in Manhattan. History and architecture. Wow, look at all that. A chapel of the parish of Trinity Church St. Paul's is built on land granted by Anne, Queen of Great Britain, designed by architect Thomas McBean, and built by master craftsman Andrew Gautier. Upon completion in 1766, it stood in a field some distance from the growing port city to the south. It was built as a chapter of ease for parishioners who thought the mother church inconvenient to access. Built of Manhattan mica schist with brownstone quoins, St. Paul's has the classical portico, boxy proportions, and domestic details that are characteristic of Georgian churches such as James Gibbs's London Church of St. Martin in the Fields, after which it was modelled. Its octagonal tower rises from a square base and is topped by a replica of the choragic monument of Lysicrates. Inside the chapel's simple elegant hall has the pale colors, flat ceilings, and cut glass chandeliers reminiscent of contemporary domestic interiors. In contrast to the awe-inspiring interior of Trinity Church, this hall and its ample gallery were endowed with a cozy and comfortable character in order to encourage attendance. On the Broadway side of the chapel's exterior is an oak statue of the church's namesake, St. Paul, carved in the American primitive style. Below the east window is the monument to Brigadier General Richard Montgomery, who died at the Battle of Quebec 1775 during the American Revolutionary War. In the spire, the first bell is inscribed Mears London Facet 1797. The second bell, made in 1866, was added in celebration of the chapel's 100th anniversary. The building was declared a National Historic Landmark in 1960, in part because it is the oldest public building in continuous use in New York City. The chapel survived the Great New York City Fire of 1776, when a quarter of New York City, then confined to the lower tip of Manhattan, including Trinity Church, burned down following the British capture of the city after the Battle of Long Island. During the American Revolutionary War, the Hearts of Oak, a militia unit organized early in the American Revolutionary War and comprised in part of King's College, later Columbia University students, would drill in the chapel's yard before classes nearby. Alexander Hamilton was an officer of this unit. George Washington, along with members of the United States Congress, worshipped at St. Paul's Chapel on his inauguration day, on April 30th, 1789. Washington also attended services at St. Paul during the 2 years New York City was the country's capital. Above Washington's pew is an 18th century oil painting of the Great Seal of the United States, adopted in 1782. The chapel contains several monuments and memorials that attest to its elevated status in early New York. A monument to Richard Montgomery, sculpted by Jean-Jacques Caffieri, George Washington's original pew, and a neo-Baroque sculpture called Glory, designed by Pierre L'Enfant, the designer of Washington, D.C. The pulpit is surmounted by a coronet and 6 feathers, and 14 original cut-glass chandeliers hang in the nave and the galleries. Alright, so that's pretty cool. I think it's to the north of Trinity Church, if I can... Oh crap, they're still chasing me. I think I'm way too far north. Hold on, where would it be? Is it that one? Where am I? Trinity Church. Okay, Wall Street is that one, right? Trinity Church was there. Oh, is it that one? Hold on. Let me go this way. Oh, there it is. Found it. I'm gonna have to kill these people, don't I? I'm going to have to kill those people. There is Trinity Church. Let me just hide here for a few moments. Fascinating. Alright, let's go look at it. In fact, let me just go into my cheats. Oh crap, this is gonna reset the map. I just wanna make sure it's daytime, so we can... Always daytime, summer, always sunny. Just so that we can see these buildings clearly, right? Now here we are. So there's the front of it. Apparently it has not changed since this time. So you can see the stones. The stones are not really, I mean, they're roughly carved in the shape. I guess in the corners they are squared, but in between they're roughly carved in the shape. Not sure what happened here though. Why is that broken like that? And they're, you know, they're carefully carved around the windows. Is that, or is that nice timber? My bad. At the back we see. Is this stone or timber, these columns? That looks like stone to me. Let's go back to the portico. Apparently, somebody famous is buried here? Oh, what's this? Can't read any of that. Why are they attacking me? I don't even know what's going on. Anyway. I wish we didn't have to do this. I honestly wish we didn't have to do this. It's so incredibly annoying. I swear I turned off enemies from seeing us. Alright, so after that minor inconvenience, so there's the portico there. What does it look like underneath? Let me just climb up a little bit. Is that, so this stuff is... These are stone columns? Or is that timber? No, these are timber columns. Alright. I think all these capitals and things are also timber. Just judging by the look of it. Not sure. Not sure. And there isn't really a detailed description in Wikipedia neither. It's a pretty good building, it looks pretty good. Whoever designed it obviously know what they're doing. That is timber. Alright, and then here's the roof. Interesting. Alright, well this is the building. Not too much to be said for the architecture in the article in Wikipedia, unfortunately. And there's not really a good view of it either, like when you stand back here you can't really see the whole thing. can't really see the tower behind it. I mean the spire. I guess that's pretty much... Maybe the street is too narrow? Because if you look at the photo manages to capture quite a bit more of it. I think the street in the game is too narrow, and that's why you can't really see the building all that well. Yeah, I think the street is too narrow here, so you can't just step back and look at it from a distance. That's a bit of a shame. What do these birds do? Alright, well there you go. That's the St. Paul's Chapel. Alright, what's the next landmark we want to look at? Location, New York, Old Royal Exchange. This was the first covered market in New York. It started as a one-story building in 1675, but it was replaced with the building you see here in 1752. The lowest floor is for the market, and the second floor contains rooms that could be used for concerts, public meetings, and balls. Balls as in dances. It's no accident that this building bears a resemblance to Faneuil Hall in Boston. It was common architecture for markets at the time. Private houses didn't have the space for large numbers of people, so these buildings combined open space for a market with closed-in space for the upper crust to have fancy parties. Of course, public rooms could be used by the rabble as well. The Sons of Liberty brought crowds here, notably to choose delegates for the Second Continental Congress. Technically, that was the New York Assembly's job, but they refused to send anyone. After the Revolutionary War ended, this building was the first home of the Supreme Court. Its first session began on February 2nd, 1790. It didn't stay here for long, however. It moved to Philadelphia in 1791. Alright, Old Royal Exchange. I'm not sure where it is. Let's go here, see if we can find Royal Exchange. Nope. Old Royal Exchange in New York City. There is an Old Royal Exchange in New York City, but there's no... It's not a Wikipedia article. Old Royal Exchange, New York? Oops. Nope. Nope. That's not helpful. Alright, no. There's no article for it. I don't know if I can find it then. Where are we? It would have been near the harbor, right? Let's go east and then see if we can find it along the waterfront. The convenient thing about the whole city being laid in a grid is that you can usually tell where you're going.
Could be here.
These, interesting. I'm pretty sure the street is too narrow, but the buildings are fairly tall already. I mean, even at this time, as portrayed in the game, New York is significantly more dense than Boston. Wow, look at that, there's a bridge up there. Like, even at this point, New York is significantly more dense than Boston. Interesting. Oh, is this it? Is this the hall? What does it look like in the Animus? Location, New York. Old Royal Exchange. I think it is. Alright, Old Royal Exchange, so there's a market underneath, kind of. And then there's meeting, oh wait, this is not it. Ah, no, my bad, this is not it. This is a different building because the picture in the database had a thing sticking out in the front of the building. Oh really? That's not it? Huh. Let's go along the waterfront. If we can. That looks really similar though, the one we just ran past. Although I do see a little bit of copy and paste.
No table worth the name should be without my
It's not this thing.
Here, good folks.
And then the one in front is copy and pasted, I think, from the other one.
Here instead. Everything
Alright, yeah, that building is just copy and pasted from the previous one. It gets really confusing when they copy and paste buildings like that, because it's like, it's the exact same building, but in a slightly different place, and so you're looking at it and you think you're in one place, but it's actually a different building. And then there's that's not it. Maybe I'm not even gonna find it. It's not too important, I don't think. Is that a lighthouse? Oh, here it is. Found it. Found it. So this is kind of copy and... No, it's not it neither. Or is it? No, this is it. Alright, this is it. Even though you won't really notice any difference from the others. Alright, so this is the... whatever it is. Old meeting... something. Whatever it's called. I wonder if you can find it in Google, because it would be, if it still exists, it would be quite distinctive, right? Old Royal Exchange, New York. Old Royal Exchange, New York? The Old Royal Exchange building. That's in the game. That's in real life. It looks slightly different, doesn't it? You see the roof there. It's got like 2 pictures, whereas this has only got 1. That there, huh? The Old Royal Exchange. I don't know if it still exists. It doesn't look like it. We can see what it looks like. There's some... Wait a minute, this is from Wikipedia. The Old Royal Exchange building, or is this in a different... This might be the wrong one. Hold on, view page. Old Royal Exchange building. New York Legislature. History of the Supreme Court of the United States. The Old Royal Exchange in New York City. That's Philadelphia's City Hall. Alright, so I don't think the building exists anymore because you only have a picture of it. Alright, well there you go. It doesn't actually look like that. Not in the slightest. That's a curious mistake in the game, because in most other parts of the game, the designers have managed to copy the buildings accurately. But not with this one, interestingly. New York and Bowling Green. This was one of New York's first public parks, established in 1733 by local landlords so people living in the area would have a place to walk, bowl, and get away from the noise of the city. Since it's meant as a quiet park, there wouldn't be much more to tell except that a statue of King George III was placed here in 1770, commissioned to celebrate the repeal of the Stamp Act. In 1771, a wrought iron fence was added around the park, possibly to keep malcontents from vandalizing the statue. In 1776, rebels stormed the park, tore down the statue, and hacked it to pieces. The reason for the attack: they just heard the Declaration of Independence read publicly for the first time. Most of the statue was later melted down and turned into musket balls for the Continental Army, perhaps the rebel version of destroying the Liberty Tree for firewood. The Bowling Green still exists in modern-day New York, and it's home to another statue. The Charging Bull of Wall Street stands just outside the fence. Alright, the Bowling Green. I don't know if we're gonna find it. Let me go look in the Wikipedia article. Bowling Green? Oops. Bowling Green? No, Bowling Green, New York. Places, United States, New York City. Ah, interesting. Bowling Green is a small public park in South Ferry, Manhattan, at the end of Broadway, next to the site of the original Dutch fort of New Amsterdam. Built in 1733, originally including a bowling green, it is the oldest public park in New York City, and is surrounded by its original 18th century fence. At its northern end is the Charging Bull sculpture. Bowling Green Fence and Park is listed on the United States National Register of Historic Places. It is abutted by Battery Park to the west. Colonial era, the park has long been a center of activity in the city going back to the days of New Amsterdam, when it served as a cattle market between 1638 and 1647, and parade ground. In 1675, the Common Council designated the plain for the fort for an annual market of grain, cattle, and other produce of the country. So it was a marketplace. In 1677, the city's first public well was dug in front of Fort Amsterdam at Bowling Green. In 1733, the Common Council leased a portion of the parade grounds to 3 prominent neighboring landlords for a peppercorn a year, upon their promise to create a park that would be the delight of the inhabitants of the city, and add to its beauty and ornament. The improvements were to include a bowling green with walks therein. The surrounding streets were not paved with cobblestones until 1744. On August the 21st, 1770, the British government erected a 4,000-pound gilded lead equestrian statue of King George III in Bowling Green. The king was dressed in Roman garb in the style of the equestrian statue of Marcus Aurelius. The statue has been commissioned in 1766 along with a statue of William Pitt from the prominent London sculptor Joseph Wilton, as a celebration of victory after the 7 Years' War. With the rapid deterioration of relations with the mother country after 1770, the statue became a magnet for the Bowling Green protests. In 1773, the city passed an anti-graffiti and anti-desecration law to counter vandalism against the monument, and a protective cast-iron fence, which still stands, was built along the perimeter of the park. On July 9, 1776, after the Declaration of Independence was read to Washington troops, at the current site of City Hall, local Sons of Liberty rushed down Broadway to Bowling Green, where they toppled the statue. The fence post finials of cast iron crowns on the protective fence were sawn off, with the saw marks still visible today. Amazing. The event is one of the most enduring images in the city's history. According to folklore, the statue was chopped up and shipped to a Connecticut foundry under the direction of Oliver Wolcott, to be made into 42,088 Patriot bullets at 20 bullets per round. The statue's head was to have been paraded about town on pike staffs, but was recovered by loyalists and sent to London. 8 pieces of the lead statue are preserved in the New York Historical Society, one in the Museum of the City of New York as well as one in Connecticut. The event has been depicted over the years in several works of art, including an 1854 painting by William Walcott and an 1859 painting by Johannes Adams Simon Ortel. Hilarious! The statue got pwned. Post-colonial era. The marble slab of the statue's pedestal was first used for a tombstone of a Major John Smith of the Black Watch, who died in 1783. When Smith's gravesite was leveled in 1804, the slab became a stone step at 2 successive mansions. Wow, really? In 1880, the inscription was rediscovered and the slab was transferred to the New York Historical Society. The monument base can be seen in the background of the portrait of George Washington painted by John Trumbull in 1790, conserved in the City Hall. The William Pitt statue is in the New York Historical Society. Yeah, I don't know if the remainder of this is all that interesting. Let's see if we can find the Bowling Green in the game. It shouldn't be too difficult to find, right? It's just on Wall Street. Is it this? I don't know. Alright, let's see if we can find it. I just need to follow this street up. What are you, bro? Stop that. I just need to follow the street up. Again, just like in Boston, I think you can see how most of the places that are of interest in the game, they're interesting not because of architecture, which is a shame, but more because of the history of the places and the fact that famous events and people happened there.
This way.
But I mean, the architecture is not that remarkable for the most part. Is this it? Is this the Bowling Green? I don't know. I don't know. Is this it? I mean, okay, there's this. What other place could it be? I think it is this. What other place could it be? None. Alright, I think that's it. Was it depicted in the game, or I mean, in the Animus? Locations, New York. Maybe it's not. Hold on, Bowling Green. No, it's not. It's definitely not. All right, somewhere else. It is somewhere else, and it is in a place where there's burnt buildings. But it should be on Wall Street, right? So it would be just here, if anything. Why are they aggressive? I don't understand. Animus hack. Guard detection and investigation is disabled. They should not even see me here. They shouldn't even see me. Why are they so aggressive? Let me switch over to that. Alright, great. So it's probably not there. Maybe they didn't put the Bowling Green in the right place in the game, because I'm pretty sure it's not. It's not in the right place here.
What's the royal gift? What on earth are you doing, sir?
It's not this way.
Westphalian products go to Herr Hoyt.
I don't know where. Why are they so aggressive? It's not here, right? Unless it's that? No, I'm pretty sure I'm in the wrong place now. I'm pretty sure I'm in the wrong place. Let me just double check this. There's cows. And no, I'm pretty sure this is the wrong place. Let me go run the other way. I can't find it. I seriously can't find where it is. Unless it's further that way, which I don't think it is. That must be a glitch. That must be a glitch. Like, why are they so aggressive here? Like, they see you and they attack you. Not even doing anything. I don't know where this thing is. Alright, I can't find it. I don't think that's in. Maybe let me actually no. Let me just look around the other side a little bit. Oh, is this it? Oh, wait a minute. Is this it? Bowling Green. It must be. Here's the Bowling Green right here. You can play. You can play. Oh, Washington's here. Wow, that's Washington. Is this the Bowling Green? Oh, here we go. Found it. All right, we found it. Are we done? Good. Washington is here? Really?
Connor,
Commander,
it's good to see you.
you have what you set out for. What will you do with it?
A fair question. But if truth be told, I do not know. Men with far greater minds than mine will build this country's foundations. A task I am simply not equipped for. Have you played bocce before? I'm really growing quite fond of it. I think I'll have a green built at Mount Vernon when I return.
All that death and sacrifice, and you mean to leave the important tasks to better men while you play games? I might have expected it.
Connor,
Whether you think you are capable or worthy of the task, after the things you have done to ensure this outcome, you should not have the luxury of peace.
Oh, well, that's but Alright, well, you told him. You told Washington. Alright, here's the Bowling Green. This is not that impressive, is it? You can talk to Washington and insult him some more. There's the remains of the statue. I don't remember if the statue was there before. Alright, well, not that interesting once again. Animus database, locations, New York. Bridewell Prison. By 1773, the prison population of the New Gaul was getting so large that the city began plans for a new prison. Bridewell was started in 1773. The building was finished in 1775, but before it saw much use, the war happened, and the British started to fill it with American prisoners of war. Prison conditions were terrible. Imagine a budget hotel, then take away the budget. There was very little food, most of it bad. There were no window panes, just bars over openings in the walls. One prisoner wrote that in 3 winter months, the only fire he saw was in the lanterns on the street. This was before our 2.5 centuries of global warming, so you can imagine how cold it was. When the war ended, this building went back to its intended use, holding local criminals and debtors. I can only hope the new government eventually installed windows and started work on the catering. Probably not. The new building was torn down in 1838 and the stones were used to build a new prison that went by the happy nickname of the Tombs, which wasn't nearly as glamorous as it sounds. It's been the pet name of every Manhattan jail since. Bridewell Prison? Would it be here? Bridewell, oh, there it is. No, Bridewell Palace. This is in London. Bridewell Prison, New York. I keep spelling that wrong. The Tombs. Bridge of Sighs, connecting Tombs. But it's not. Tombs was the one that came afterwards, right? 4 main building known as the Tombs. Let's see. Landfill. I'm trying to skim this. City prison. Yeah, no. The Tombs was built afterwards. Here. The new structure incorporated material from the Bridewell, built in 1735, demolished in 1838, mainly granite to save money. Yeah, no, there's no article for the old one. History of the United States. Oops. History of the United States. New York Open System. Future of the Penitentiary. Alright, that's not really useful. So where is it? I don't even know where it is. Although it's a really large building. Didn't we do a quest there at some point? Is that it? Is that it there? I don't think it is. Let me just go over there. Maybe it is. South. Oh, it is, isn't it? That is Bridewell. I wonder if the game designers actually had a picture of it, or if they just kind of made this from their imagination. Is it? No, it's not it, is it? Hold on, let me just... no, that's not the Bridewell, that's something else. Unless the opposite side looks different than this side. Which... Nope, I don't think this is it. That's something else. It's kind of similar though. Okay, that's something else. What is another large... there? Maybe it's that one?
Have you taken leave of your senses?
Ah, there it is. You can see it in the distance already. There it is. So, there's no modern... I mean, it got torn down and the stones were used for a different prison. Do I have to kill these guys? I guess. There's bars on the windows. Well, according to the in-game article, there's no windows on the walls, but there is in the game. Here's the gallows. Who's attacking me? Those guys? Why am I not shooting? Why am I not shooting it? In the game there's another building to the side of it too. I don't know, I mean they're not that remarkable, these buildings. There's a lot of cells. Although each cell seems... How big would a cell be? Big enough for you to have a bed, I guess. I don't know, there's not too much to be said about this building. Alright, well there's the prison in the game, and we don't get to see anything in real life. Alright, what's the next thing? Locations, New York... The new goal? Wait a minute, was that even there before? The new... Oh, it was the one next to it, I see. The new goal opened in 1759 was the first building in New York to be a dedicated prison. Before this, criminals were held in the basement of the city hall, or in the case of debtors, in the attic, because that's where I keep all my debtors. The building was meant for convicted criminals too, but overwhelming poverty in the neighborhood around it meant it quickly earned the nickname the Debtors' Prison. By 1773, it was overcrowded not just with debtors but also with prisoners from the French and Indian War. Construction started on a new prison, the Bridewell, right next door. Both the New Gaol and Bridewell prison were used to house prisoners of war during the British occupation of New York. It is an understatement to call the conditions there appalling. Hundreds of prisoners were kept with very little food, heat, or adequate clothing. Those that did have clothing sold it to get more food. Diseases like smallpox ran rampant among the prisoners. The man in charge of the prisons was the Provost Marshal William Cunningham. He was notorious for his cruel treatment of prisoners, and his presence earned the New Gaol yet another nickname, the Provost. Alright, great. I wonder if that's in Wikipedia. The new... Nope. Alright, well, next. Broad Street? Broad Street is not Broadway, although you'd be forgiven for some confusion, because they're right next to each other. This street was named after the Broad Canal, which used to run down the center. The canal was an inlet from the East River, and for part of its history you could canoe along it. By the late 17th century, however, the water was so clogged that it was difficult and inadvisable. Houses had been built alongside, and both residents and local vendors used the canal to dispose of trash and sewage. When the British regained New York in 1674, they made many improvements to the city, one of which was filling in the now stinking canal and paving the street over it. You can thank me on behalf of all Brits later. Nowadays, Broad Street is in the middle of the financial district and mostly home to banks. Yet another site you might recognize, this column facade of New York Stock Exchange. Alright, Broad Street should be here, right? Broad Street, New York. That's a no. Philadelphia, no, no. Broad Street, no. Manhattan. New York Stock Exchange on the right. Broad Street is located in the financial district of the New York City borough of Manhattan, stretching from South Street to Wall Street. Broad Street was named for the Broad Canal, which it replaced. Originally an inlet from the East River, the canal was flanked by two solid ranks of three-story houses, the parts in front of which were paved in 1676. The canal was filled in 1676 because fruit and vegetable vendors, including Native Americans who came by canoe from Long Island, left the area littered and fewer watercraft were small enough to use the canal. That's terrible. That is so bad. The Broad Canal was the original Manhattan landing of the first ferry between Manhattan and Brooklyn, later the Fulton Ferry. The street saw a lot of change as the centuries progressed from Dutch to British rule and finally independent America. Among the tenants of Broad Street in the 18th century was bookseller Garrett Noe. In the 1835 Great Fire of New York destroyed whatever historic buildings were left from the early times of New Amsterdam/New York. As the area became the center of financial activity, all smaller buildings in turn were replaced with grand banks. Most of the structures that stand today date from the turn of the 20th century, along with more modern buildings constructed after the 1950s. So it is completely different today from what it was back then. Let's see if we can find Broad Street. So Wall Street is there. Broad Street is it's just the this intersection here, isn't it? If I can get out of here, no, don't what am I doing? So this is Wall Street across here. I think Broad Street is just that one there, this one here, this one, I think. Not sure if it's accurate in the game, but apparently there was a canal here. Not sure about that. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Maybe Broad Street is... Oh, it must be. This is Broadway. Broad Street must be the other one. Oops. This is Broadway. Let me go let me go next door to Broad Street for you guys. Or is it? Because this is where the burned out buildings are. Is this Broad Street? Or did I get it back to front again? I might have gotten it back to front again. Let me just double check. Animus database. Locations. New York, Broad Street. No, all the buildings are intact. No, it was. Because there's the... See that building in the middle of it? Okay, my bad. No, this is Broadway. This is Broadway. The other one is Broad Street. Because at the end of the street is that building that you saw. Wow.